Hey there, Hofstra fans, and welcome inside the WBB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. The first edition, myself, Matt Durant, with head coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey of the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team as they look ahead to their home opener, their season opener, Friday night against Marist. Coach, just overall, sum up your off-season and the development of the new players, the veteran players, and just overall how you like the off-season.
It's been good. It was a unique one because we had the 4 international players that were playing in their with their respective countries. So first time in my career that they have summer school, so you did have 4 of the freshmen not come to summer school. So that makes you a little bit somewhat behind on necessarily team chemistry and what they're providing on the court. But they were so advanced that it just, it picks up quick. I mean, they learn very fast, and it's been a really nice adjustment here. This month from October 3rd until like November 3rd has been intense. Been really high energy practices. I could say in all my years of coaching, we've really only had like one practice where, okay, you get into that grind when you're ready to play somebody else. That doesn't always happen. So that just really tells you the group of young ladies that I have in the program right now and the energy that they bring and, how good they want to be. So I think, with the leadership of Crystal, I think Ashane has been trying to be a strong leader. Aliana has been, as well as Sydney Epps, as you know, who does a great job of leadership. But, she's done a good job of delegating and trying to have everybody kind of give that pull. And Olivia Askins, definitely, I hear her voice every day in practice, just trying to pull the young ones up. So, those kind of things, that type of leadership, those guys doing the little things right for me in practice, just really helps in the development of this group coming in. So we're just excited. We're ready to play. We had some good scrimmages, and now it's time to really cut the lights on and start going.
Well, you mentioned those international players. 5 new freshmen, 4 of them international. A couple of the issues that happen when you take players, especially younger players from overseas, you encounter a language barrier. You encounter maybe they grew up with just a different style of game. We saw that with Sandra Dongmo. It took her a little bit of time to adapt to the U.S. style of playing.
Right.
Have you encountered any of those hurdles in the off-season?
I think the game it's unique. It's different because I think the game, obviously, in the FIBA rules and the way they play is necessarily it's faster because of the shot clock. But I think the college game and NCAA Division I caliber is faster because of the quality of the players. So it's unique because I really thought that part was going to be a little easier for them. We have a 30-second shot clock. They have a 24-second shot clock. When a rebound hits, it's reset for 14. It's not a full clock reset like it is here. So, their game is faster. So I think that because of that, it has helped them. I think the physicality of the U.S. game and the differences there, the longer practices, then you put the studying on top of it and the weightlifting, which is new to mostly all the European players. They don't do as intense type of weightlifting. So you just add all of that with sleep and being away and just the whole elements of being just a normal freshman. But, to be honest, that they're adjusting very well. Their language barrier is just very minute, very high academic young ladies in the classroom. And so that you really don't, every now and then there's something or what does this mean? But they do such a good job, as we all do, on contextual things. So if they don't understand what you might say, they see what it was done and they know how to do it. So, it's just been great. It's been great for me. It's a little bit of a rebirth for me as a coach. Just 2 things: having kids just very excited to be here, to love to be at Hofstra, to just really. Having another young group, haven't had this in a while, right? Because we had a lot of seasoned veterans the last couple of years, good ones, cornerstones of the program with Darius and Angie leaving, and Asia and Jaquel, and just great people that have left. But it's just been fun, with this group and getting us ready. And I know they're excited for this tip tomorrow. There's going to be some nerves for sure, but hopefully when this light goes on, they know how to play basketball. That's what I always say. It's just a game of basketball. It's the same. So I think you'll see some good things if we're patient.
Talking in the last couple of weeks with some of your assistants as well as some of the players, it seems like everyone's hesitant to use the word replace when you talk about Kelly and Angie and Darius and all the pieces that you lost, because you really can't replace them on the court or in the locker room. But when you look at the new faces that have come in, fresh faces, sort of a blank slate for the program at least, what have you seen from the new players that lends to, well, maybe they could be a solid replacement for these attributes that we lost?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cute to hear other people that come and watch our practices make comments on what they think. I know that they know that we are good and can be really good. I think collectively as a group, the 5 freshmen can fill the voids. I don't think necessarily you can say, okay, this person's going to be this person, that person will be this, because they're different. We don't really have, you don't have an Angie White, but you have a Marianne Callan who is dynamic. but different, So I think collectively as a group, as they get comfortable playing together and on the floor and playing with the veterans, you're going to see a very solid, group of individuals helping us compete at a high level here, and it's just going to take time. I know I said that's going to be our short-term team goal is, obviously, be patient with each other, give yourself time to get to know each other on the floor, being comfortable, because that only happens with game experience. We can practice another month right now, and it still necessarily wouldn't have us more ready to play from tomorrow.
Well, some of the players that returned that were big pieces in last year's success, the deep WNIT run, after an early exit in the CAAs, you saw a handful of players really break out down the stretch, and Aliana Leon was one of them. And you already mentioned earlier that she's already been vocal in practices, really trying to become a leader, despite not really having that elongated growth. She sort of grew into this role really quickly. What have you liked from her in the offseason? What do you think her role can develop into on the court this season?
She's always been a person that always wants to be better and does all the little things, to maintain herself in the classroom and on the court. So it's always been a delight to coach Aliana. Now she steps up into a little more of the big girl role. A little less, when she gets a little frustrated, she's got to be much more consistent with that and take that responsibility on and take it and don't get frustrated with herself. So I think that spark, that energy, for her, she's got to bring that on the floor, whether she's starting, whether she's coming off the bench, and I think, she just has to, and I talk about that. Florida Gulf Coast was an example. She had such a great WNIT run, just really huge part of our success. And, that was a tough game. Took away some of the things that, what she was doing, and I saw her, get down, and I said, those kids now, from sophomores to juniors, you don't have that luxury. You don't have that luxury because you don't have your Dariuses and your Angies, subbing in for you and giving yourself a break. So it doesn't mean that you're dropping 20 and you have to give that to us every single night, but you have to maintain that maturity on the floor and that consistent maturity, even when things are going bad, because that's who people are looking at you. So she can do that role, and that's one of her big goals.
Well, you can develop maturity, and you can sort of replace a wing scorer in that capacity, but a position that's really, it seems like it would be tough to replace is a floor runner and someone that can command the floor, as well as Darius Falk did for last season. She really ended up with a couple of triple-double fringes last season towards the end, nearly a handful in a row. But now Krista Luciano is put into that role and has to be a real floor runner, and she really has to control the floor in a different way than she did last year. What have you seen in her development in the offseason as far as taking a leadership role and being more vocal on the court?
Well, you know what? She's always been the one that can run the program, that run the plays. I mean, that part of it, like Darius was more the physical person, and Crystal was more of honestly the brain part of it. Not saying anything, Darius, as you're watching, as she's over in Finland playing. But it's really true. I mean, Darius relied on her physical talents. I mean, she could just will herself in to get a game, and then Crystal could put everybody in the right spot and get folks the ball. And so now that role's got to change. She's got to be much more aggressive. Use her obviously massive physical talents. I mean, she can get to the cup better than anybody, and so I just think consistency with that, with her running the show and huddling the team up, and in times of frustration, just trying to just maintain that balance for the team. She can't show that frustration, and I think that's going to be her biggest challenge all year long, is just maintaining a level head. And I know she can do it, but she's the one that's going to have to do it on the floor day in and day out. So you had that little fiery part of her, you have the ice part of Nay. They really need to kind of mold together here and try to maintain that consistency along with Aliana for us to be great.
Well, Ashnae Duran, another player that can lead by example.
Yeah.
One of the better rebounders in the league, despite being not necessarily the tallest person on the court at any given time, but she really finds a way and she puts her body on the line every game. As she develops as a player, last season you mentioned you wanted to get her into a role where she could score on the perimeter as well, expand her game, score from more areas on the court. We didn't really see it all that much. She was 1 for 1 though, so 100% from deep. What do you expect from her, and what are you hoping to put her, what kind of position are you trying to put her in the season so she can expand her game?
Yeah, I know she's always wanted to change where she was at from when she entered in at Hofstra. You always hope that someone is going to want to grow, year by year by year. We're going to, take advantage of what she does and keep complementing her strengths, day in and day out. But, her range, her dribbling, her ball handling, every aspect of the game that she's been improving on. So just finding moments, for her to show that versatility. So, I think as the season progresses, you'll be able to begin to see her versatility. So, I can't talk enough about what she does for us. I mean, I think she was leading the CA in double doubles last year, and the best part about Nay is that she has a lot of good people around her. So it's not one of those years, even with people leaving, that everything just falls on her shoulders. So I think we're in a good spot with that she doesn't feel like it's all on her. So she's got a lot of good people around her, helping her be able to accomplish what she wants to accomplish, what we want to accomplish as a group. So just excited about her. I mean, just want her to keep growing and keep getting better and show everybody on the floor what she can do.
The last player I want to highlight is Sandra Dongmo, a player who seems like she's going to be pivotal in the growth of the team this season, as Ilona Faroka left 2 years ago and Angie stepped in and played a big role. And now Angie leaves to go play in Romania, and Sandra's put in this position where she has to mature very quickly and develop her game very quickly. How has that development been in the offseason leading up to tomorrow night now, where she is going to have to shine, it seems like?
Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, she's been really impressed, in our scrimmages, and I think she, you talk about somebody that had just a far learning curve. I mean, she didn't start playing basketball until she was in the 9th grade, and they didn't necessarily call it 9th grade over there where she was in. And, and just working on her footwork. We've done a lot of things here in the offseason all summer long. Just making her, better so she can compete with us out there on the floor defensively as well as offensively. So, some coaches, I've never been in this position ever. I'm going to work with the kids along, whether they're a 5th-year senior, whether they're a senior, and she is someone that just keeps growing and keeps learning and watches. So we do expect huge things out of her. As long as, having sit-ups back has been a nice little firecracker for us too. So we have sit back as well as a 5th-year senior. So, both of them in paint are going to be vital for us.
Well, with Marist being your opener tomorrow, your entire offseason with all these freshmen, with all these developing upperclassmen, tomorrow's the opener. If you can get one thing out of this team that you really want to represent your offseason and what this team has gone through, what do you hope is shown on the court?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think you'll see just a lot of that, greatness and playing together with the returners that are going. It's just obviously, with the newcomers and just how they are playing together on the floor. And again, it's the first game. But I just think, that's going to be just like a good first test of just, like I said, the lights are on and they've got to now perform, and just working on that team chemistry and doing the little things that we need to do. I mean, defense has got to come first. I mean, we have got to defend, and Marist obviously shoots the lights out of the ball. We know, what they like to do. And so when you have newcomers, they're going to keep us on our toes about game plan and things like that. So I just think if I could see just a nice consistency in the defensive end of communication and us really working together as a unit defensively, and then offensively, we know who's going to be carrying the weight, and everybody else can complement in there as much as we can. So I think that's going to be the fun twist. I'm not giving anything massively exciting, but it's really true. It's the first game of many. We turn around and play again on Monday. So I know it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress, but I think you can be impressed with what we do, on day one. But I think if you have patience and understanding, you see the pieces that we have, that we have an opportunity to be really good. So I think that is what I can't stop preaching. In a world where everybody wants it yesterday, it's hard to, that as the leader, that you're on to something really good. You just hopefully that everybody keeps their focus right. And if we're focused and we're locked in and stick to the game plan, stick to the things that we're working on, we can be really good at that. It's really, can't afford to deviate. We've got to stay disciplined. And I think that's the difference with the team this year. You don't have as much of the gambling rules. You're not quite as deep. And so you need to be much more disciplined and stick to the game plan.
One more before I let you go, Coach. This is something I know you've been passionate about speaking about the last couple of years. It's the home opener. It's an exciting new year. Why should fans come out and support this team at home and really provide a great atmosphere for opening day?
Oh, it's awesome. I think you saw that at Midnight Madness when I said that on the microphone. I mean, these young ladies were talented. We can put up some points. They do it with a big smile sometimes. But we have a toughness to us. But it's an exciting brand of basketball. It isn't this 1950s. I always say that, not turning the clock down. I mean, pushing the tempo and going. And I think it's skilled and it's disciplined. And I think it's enjoyable to watch. So I think on the style that you have with the men and how aggressive they play, you have a different type of look with the women that is exciting. I mean, Crystal leads an exciting brand of basketball as she's playing us at the point. So they have a lot to offer, and I think if people can catch on to that, catch that buzz, and realize it'll be a fun team to watch all year long, because it was great, Midnight Madness. It was great having all the fans, all the students out, and you know, you just can't. I told all the players yesterday, you know, get out there, get your people out of your dorm, get them coming to the game. It's at 5 o'clock. They can still go do everything they want to do on a Friday night, you know. So, you know, we're just going to keep harping and keep preaching and keep winning, and you know, and show them what a great product it is here at Hofstra, and why it's exciting to be at Hofstra and get behind a sports team. You know, in a tumultuous world that we live now, it's nice to get down some free entertainment, you know, for the students, and you know, get behind a great product.
Well, Hofstra Pride basketball opening night kicks off with the women's team at 5 o'clock against Marist at the Max Sports Complex. We'll be back here on the WB Mason Coaches Report next week.